That rascal George didn't return last night. My young cousin likes the women, and this doesn't surprise me. No doubt he's extending his stay at a high-class establishment, but it's not like him to not let me know. George still hasn't returned. It's been almost a week, and I'm certain he's met with foul play. I send letters to England informing Father and Uncle Bernard of the worrying development. Where the hell is my cousin George?
Upon receiving Daniel's letter, my brother Bernard and I traveled to Paris to help search for Bernard's son, my young nephew George. George is like a son to me, and my concern is great. Daniel and I launch our own investigation, visiting every house of ill repute in the French capital and beyond. But we discover nothing about George's movements the night he disappeared. We're worried sick about young George and dread to think of the fate that may have befallen the dear boy.
My only son and heir, George, is missing in Paris. Herbert and Daniel perform their own searches, but I hire a private detective, not caring about cost. A month later, I'm heavily out of pocket, and the detective hasn't a clue about George's whereabouts. I've lost my boy, and my grief is great, and my anger towards Mary knows no restraint. If that little bitch hadn't tricked George into returning to London, my son would be safe back in Barbados. I swear by God, I will make Mary pay. The wench still eludes me, but England is too small to hide her forever. I'm coming for you, Mary. No matter how long it takes, I'm coming for you.
After fleeing customs and escaping Master Bernard and his terrifying threats of violence, I dash across and down London's busy streets until my breath deserts me. Stopping to recover, I retrieve my old cape from my basket and wrap myself within it, tying it tightly at the neck and pulling the hood over my hair and down low on my forehead. With my head bent, I now blend into the bustling throng, passing as an impoverished Englishwoman. Accommodation is my priority, and I enter a small perfume shop to inquire about the nearest inn. The storekeeper does not approve of me. To gain his cooperation, I describe a fictional white woman, my mistress, resting outside in her carriage, who's trusted me with a 10-pound note and awaits my return with a bottle of cologne. I draw a note from the stash in my bodice and ask for a decanter of his best perfume.
An African servant enters my perfumery. I acknowledge her beauty, but her appearance in my store is bad for business, no matter her exquisiteness. However, anyone's money is good money, and I sell the black woman a bottle of rose perfume for her employer. After that, I'm keen to get her out, but the bothersome black servant asks about accommodation for her mistress, so I quickly direct her to the Silver Thorn, a reputable inn a block away, and then push her out onto the street.
The Silver Thorn has no back entrance. I'm forced to enter by the front. An angular man appears and glares down his nose, ordering me to leave. I beg for a room, any room, but he repeats his command.
I hear my husband Harry at reception, denying a woman a room. With a yell, I question whether the visitor has money, and Harry replies loudly in the affirmative, but that she is of lowly status and not suitable for the Silver Thorn. "If she can pay, she can stay," I yell to him, and I hear the impudent man storm out the front door.
The angular man's wife, a plump, attractive blonde woman, appears from a side office, shocked at her husband's abrupt departure and astounded to discover me, a black woman, standing in the hall, uncertain and hesitant.
Mary's her name. She's beautiful, articulate, polite, and though poorly dressed, Mary's demeanor echoes the dignity of a queen. I love her. In a moment, I decide to give Mary our best room with a large four-poster bed, and I'll spoil her with a hot, fragrant bath. I won't take a penny from Mary, everything will be free, and hopefully she'll remain at the Silver Thorn, a pampered servant and my dear friend.
The innkeeper, Matilda, spoils me with the best suite, a warm bath, hearty meals, and 2 new sets of good quality outfits, including matching hats, shoes, and bags. Never has a white person shown me such kindness while wanting nothing in return. I am overwhelmed, grateful, and joyous. but Matilda's husband, Harry, is angry at his wife's indulging a black woman. Harry sneers at me and wants me gone from the inn.
Harry insists we turn Mary out, but I tell him to go to hell and offer Mary security with a well-paid live-in job at the Silver Thorn. Mary is a beautiful soul. She deserves that and more.
Dear Matilda offers me employment at the Silverthorn Inn, and if it were not for her awful husband, Harry, I would eagerly accept her offer. Harry despises me, and I couldn't bear living here and enduring the slights and insults he'd throw my way. No, I have copies of old advertisements from English newspapers in Barbados, and there's an establishment in Westminster offering work for black servants. I shall apply there, dressed in one of the outfits Matilda has gifted me.
I am Antelope, renamed Mary. Watch for further episodes or read the complete saga of my incredible journey. Antelope by Marea Whitley. Available at Amazon and other online bookstores.
Mary politely refuses my offer of a job. She's seeking a position in an elegant house in Westminster. They'll work her twice as hard and pay half as much as their white servants, but Mary insists on applying.
Ernest, my butler, informs me a woman is applying for the position advertised in the newspaper some weeks ago. The position has been filled, but Ernest suggests I might be interested in this woman. When he admits her to the room, I understand his eagerness. Mary is of African extraction. She's beautiful, respectful, well-dressed, and unbelievably well-spoken for a black. Black servants are a status symbol in England, and I had hoped one would answer the advertisement. They make wonderful living objects of art. My friends will be so jealous. I offer Mary a low wage and half a Sunday off a fortnight. She is grateful and humbly accepts.
Mrs. Muir is mistress of the house in Westminster. The woman is of nondescript appearance, yet displays a superior, haughty demeanor. My application is successful, and I begin work immediately.
When Mary leaves the room, I glance out the window at an unkempt woman seated in an open carriage in front of my home. Then I see Mary dash from the servants' entrance and embrace the frowsy woman. They're saying goodbye, and for some strange reason, I find myself jealous of Mary's affection. I pull the cord for my butler Ernest, and instruct him to tell Mary the woman in the carriage makes an unsuitable friend for any servant of mine, and Mary must cut ties if she wishes to remain in my employ.
I have employment and accommodation, the first steps in my quest to find Sarah. Alas, Mrs. Muir forbids me to see dear Matilda. I've lost the first friend I've had since I was kidnapped from Africa.
It's been 15 years since I formed a partnership in a building company with Fidel Blanchette in Paris. And can you believe it? I've never set eyes on the man. Every time I've visited Paris, he's been called away to the country on a family emergency. Daniel works with Monsieur Blanchette and explains the man's disappearances when I arrive as unfortunate coincidences. Be damned, say I. The man has to be avoiding me. But why?
August and I had 2 sons after Eliza, young Herbert and George. Eliza exploits August's absence from home to exert her will. Thankfully, father-in-law Herbert is semi-retired and entertains the boys.
For 15 years, I've used work to try to suppress my obsession with and unbearable guilt over the French maid Daniel, George, and I attacked at Hougoumont. But time has only strengthened my debilitating fixation, and I neglect my family.
Despite the passing of years and father's badgering, I am not wed. Working alongside Monsieur Blanchette is rewarding. Paris suits my lifestyle and tastes. And then, suddenly, life becomes very complicated.
One Sunday lunchtime, to Dorothy's and my surprise, Daniel pays an unexpected visit to our London home. Eliza hugs her uncle and entreats him to sit. Daniel has news he didn't wish to relay by letter from Paris. He has a son.
I am Antelope, renamed Mary. Watch for further episodes or read the complete saga of my incredible journey. Antelope by Marea Whitley. Available at Amazon and other online bookstores.